what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Tailgate Talk Show. This is episode 4. Fuck you, Tony. I'm gonna keep on going. What a
Sorry,
fucking dick.
we just have to have a ritual fucking up one time, so I wanted to keep it alive.
All right, fuck you.
Ian's like that one English teacher when you fucking talking to your buddy. I'll wait.
I'll wait. All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Tailgate Talk Show. This is episode 4. Today, we're going to be covering some of the best, some of the worst, and some of the most questionable futures, talking about MNFL teams moving forward into the 2024 and beyond. And then also, we're going to recap on some free agency signings and some trades around the league, give you guys a little heads up on what's to come in this upcoming season. How's it going, boys? How are we doing today?
Doing good.
Doing great.
Hell yeah. All right, so I figured let's start with some free agency signings, some trades. We got some news around the league. Most notably, I think the Stephon Diggs to Houston Texans. What do you guys think about that one?
The Bills just wanted to get rid of him for taking him for a second and paying it. Well, they're paying him to play in Houston, first of all. They only got a second out of it, and they gave up an extra 6th and 7th to get that second round pick. So, I mean, it tells you pretty much everything you need to know about it.
Yeah. I think it's a terrible trade for the Bills, to be honest. I mean, Diggs just wanted out.
You're a Bills hater.
I am a Bills hater. So I love to see this right here. The Bills
Bro's a Bills
downfall.
hater. Bro's a Bills hater.
I'm certified, 100%.
But honestly, my personal thoughts, Texans got him for a steal. I think the Bills' future is looking a little questionable. Not to give away any of our picks, but yeah, I think the Diggs trade was questionable at best. And
another questionable fucking trade. We gave up Hassan Reddick to the Jets for a 3rd round pick that could go to a 2nd round pick if Hassan plays more than 67% of the snaps.
See, I don't think that's a bad
Jets
trade.
rotate. The Jets rotate a lot of their defensive players in and out, so it makes sense. But I would hope they included that in the contract. But
Am I tripping though? That's not a bad trade.
Well, we basically stole Bryce Huff, so I mean I'm not too mad, but I rather would have kept him just for production wise, because it was either him or Josh Sweat were leaving. Then we got Josh Sweat back, and then we all, as Philly fans, kind of knew, like, damn, that's crazy. We're gonna give up our most productive edge rusher away, but
yeah, I mean,
the Jets got to go one for sure.
Lord give it, the Lord take it away.
About that trade, I was really hyped about that trade. Our defense gets even better. I mean, can't go wrong. Whatever. Fuck the 3rd.
Fuck the 3rd.
It might
Fair
be
enough.
a 2nd. Fuck it.
But when you got a player like him, like the NFC Championship 2 years ago, he beat the Niners. We didn't beat the Niners. Hassan Reddick beat the Niners alone. Injured both their quarterbacks in the NFC Championship.
Bro's just targeting fucking quarterbacks.
If you got somebody who could take over the game like that, then phenomenal to have.
Yeah, paired along with Quinnen Williams. Fucking beautiful, honestly.
And the rest of their 10 edge rushers that they swap in and out.
Yeah, literally.
No, literally.
But it works. It works.
It's a revolving door. It keeps.
It's really insane.
It keeps
and
players.
It just got even better.
It keeps players like refreshed, and you know, they're always energized out there. Jets defense looks good, like 99% of the game, which is not true for a lot of teams. But anyways, moving on. L'Jarius Sneed to the Titans. I think that's probably one of the worst landing spots he could have been, but the Titans secondary got a whole lot better. So, what do you guys think of that?
Kind of a fleece, honestly.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Sneed, it was going to get paid big money. Last year, he was a top corner in the league. He was top 3, for sure. No doubt about it. And to get him for a 3rd, you swapped 7ths, yeah. But
basically
3rd round pick for a top corner in the league, I'm taking that all day. Titans fleeced.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I mean, straight fleece, top corner for a 3rd, and like you said, yeah, you swap 7ths, but 7th round pick, who cares really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, never say never though, because Brock Purdy
never say never.
There have been some
but more
7th
than
round
likely
picks.
Going to be a bust.
Well, you never know though. You never know. There's a reason it goes to 7 rounds. You know, and like I said, Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. He's a starter in year
making
3
it happen
now. So
he's making it happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he's balling out, showing why 7th round picks aren't always relevant. I like it. Honestly, I think Titans got an
Hold
absolute
on.
steal.
Hold on. Sorry. Dad, what are you doing?
The Panthers are signing Jadeveon Clowney to a 2-year, $20 million deal. I mean, giving up Brian Burns for a second and now this.
Hey,
I mean-
Clowney's gonna bring some veteran experience to their locker room, but
Yeah, a whole lot of targeting. Let's teach the young bucks targeting.
Himself is playing hurt with a core injury. So Wentz came to the side.
20 mil is a lot. I
That is a
think
lot.
that's a lot of money for
Yeah.
someone who's what 30 something years old.
I would give him all of 16. Take 16, but
You're worried about 4 mil though? I would give him less. He's
what
just
would you
You
give him?
wouldn't take less though. I don't
like
think.
10
Yeah, I
to
don't think
12.
ridiculous either.
10 to 12 if he's taking it. Otherwise, buddy, retire. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, literally.
move on.
Dude's a relic.
Yeah, but I mean, if they can get him to get some production on that defense, I don't see why that's a bad deal other than the price tag.
Yeah.
Whatever. Speaking about some former relics, some former fucking greats, we got Aaron Donald announcing his retirement a couple weeks back. That's a big hit for the Rams. He was still producing heavily up until last season, so gonna be a big hit. Rams defense gonna look a little different this year, but what a legacy that he leaves behind. What a great career that he had.
He leaves the league
Yeah.
as one of the best defensive, if not the best defensive tackle to ever play the game, ever put
Yeah.
a helmet on. So, I mean, good for him. And he retired somewhat early. He's what, 30, 31? He retired somewhat early.
Around there. Yeah, definitely retired early, taking that Barry Sanders,
32.
Calvin Johnson route.
Yeah,
He has
32.
made, fun fact, he has made the Pro Bowl every single season he's been in the league.
Yeah, it's
That's
wild.
impressive. That's really, really impressive, honestly.
Very impressive.
Yeah, good for him. Happy for his retirement. Aaron Donald, if you're watching this, congratulations.
You're going
man.
down as a great dog.
Yeah, you're.
Yeah. I mean,
what a
hey, you got to respect it. He got
phenomenal
his
career.
bag, got his
Phenomenal
bag,
career.
got his ring. It's like, fuck it. I don't want
Phenomenal.
my body, I don't want my body taking any more injuries
Exactly.
or anything like that. So
Yeah.
you got to
Good for him.
respect the decision, honestly.
I do. Honestly, what a career, what a legacy he's left behind. But now we're gonna move into our second segment. This is what you guys clicked on the video for. So, all right, boys. So now we're moving into the last segment of the show. This is gonna be the longest segment. We got our best, worst, and most questionable futures in the NFL. We each have 3 teams that we're going to talk about a little bit for each category. Tony, start us off.
So in my best, I have the Chicago Bears, which, rough past couple years for them, but 2 top 10 picks, first overall and the 9th overall. I mean, obviously we know with that one, they're going to be taking Caleb. And if you watched our last video, I think we had I can't remember, it was either Jared Verse or Dallas Turner, which I think we were saying are like interchangeable really at 8 and 9.
Mhm.
So they get a generational quarterback. They're going to get a stud on defense. I mean, that's huge right there. You're helping both sides of the ball right there, just in the
Yeah.
draft. And they had a great free agency. Got DeAndre Swift, got Keenan Allen, made another nice couple moves. And they also still have DJ Moore. And they have a decent offensive line. And already, I think, a good defense. So, I mean, with these additions, getting, more younger guys as well. So I think that's why, they're they have a
NFC North,
really,
watch
really bright
out.
future. Yeah, that whole NFC North, the Lions, the Bears, even the Vikings in another like 2 years, they'll probably be good again. So
Yeah,
and
that
how
division
can I
is
forget the
shaping up.
Packers? That was kind of disrespectful. The Packers, Jordan Love. I mean, that whole NFC North is going to be scary.
Yeah, that NFC North shaping up to be one of the best divisions in football. And honestly, are the Bears back? Are the Bears back?
Honestly, I feel bad because they saw the Lions make one run in like the last 30 years of being in the NFL, and they were like, "Oh hell, no, we can't let this happen." So now they don't come back.
So now
poor
they gotta
Lions,
now they
dude.
gotta go back.
They lean forward in the chair. They're like, "All right, let's get down
Yeah.
to business."
No, I think the Bears is a good pick. I think Caleb alone is probably going to turn right that ship and turn their sails around. But
Agreed.
I like that pick. Honestly, the Bears, they have a very good future in front of them. They got a lot of young guys coming in. I think we had Dallas Turner going there in our mock draft, but obviously the draft is in a couple weeks, so I guess we'll see where they go with that 9th overall pick. Either way, there's a lot of talent in this upcoming draft, so they're going to get a stud either way. But I like the Bears. Move on to my best. I got the Houston Texans. This is going to be kind of an obvious pick. It was very easy to make this pick. Stroud, easily the quarterback of the future. I mean, there's no questions there. He had a phenomenal season last season and probably the best of the 2023 draft as far as quarterbacks. They just got a whole lot deeper in their wide receiver room. They got some veteran talent now in there with Stephon Diggs, like we were talking about earlier. They got him for a bag of chips from the Buffalo Bills, and he's going to provide another set of hands to throw to and another target for CJ Stroud with a lot of talent, around him. They also got Joe Mixon in the backfield, getting rid of Singletary with a good season, but Joe Mixon's probably a step up from Devin Singletary. In my opinion, Joe Mixon's going to be good on the ground. He's, Mr. Constant. He's always seeming to have some really good seasons. Very consistent player. D'Amico Ryans, Coach of the Year candidate. Might have been snubbed off that award, but Kevin Stefanski obviously had a good year, so could go either way. I think D'Amico Ryans phenomenal coach and really leading that team. Their defense, I mean, what's there not to talk about? They've got Danielle Hunter now with a lot of young players around him, good corners, completely rebuilt the defense from the past couple of years. Went from 3-13 to 10-7 in 1 year. What a turnaround for them. And watch out, AFC. They're going to be good.
And I agree. That jump from 3-13 to 10-7 in a year, phenomenal. D'Amico Ryans, phenomenal coach, and I am in love with CJ Stroud. The way he's just a pure air raid quarterback. He just bombs that shit to Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and now Stephon Diggs will torture defenses.
Don't forget Cowboys legend Dalton Schultz, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Man had a monster year.
Yeah.
He had a monster year, and he got his bag. So good for him. I'm really happy that he's finding success in another scheme. Cowboys should have never let him go, but we got Jake Ferguson. What?
What?
No, go ahead, Tom.
Go ahead, yeah.
Oh, what? What was that?
Hunter just likes laughing.
You're like, well, and then I cut you off at the beginning, and then you went, well, and I can't cut you. Go ahead, Tom. We'll let you have your spotlight. All right,
go ahead.
All right. I mean, you guys basically said, everything I was gonna say. I mean, that's easily, I'd say, probably a top 5 offense in the league, especially now adding Diggs, adding Mixon, already pairing that up with Stroud, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell. I mean,
if they could stay healthy,
the defense got 100% better. Yeah, if they can stay healthy. But yeah, I mean, that's a scary, scary team in the AFC to watch out for.
All that to lose to the Chiefs in the AFC conference.
To Mahomes and his fucking Walmart.
It's such a tough sight to see because you definitely want to see an underdog team like this come from the bottom to the top, and they're well on their way to doing it.
I think they had a great draft last year, and they're putting all the right pieces around all the right pieces, and they've just gotten consistently better as far as free agency goes. The draft last year, the draft this year, they're going to get better. So,
agreed. So, now listen, don't hate me for this, okay?
You're going to get hate.
I'm putting this out there. I think the Indianapolis Colts have one of the best futures in the NFL. Now, let me explain, right? The Colts already have a very young and talented team. They got Anthony Richardson coming back after a shoulder injury last year, and his stats were not bad at all. He only played for 4 games, but for 4 games, this really isn't bad. He went 50 for 84, 577 yards, and 3 touchdowns and 1 interception through the air. And on the ground, made a huge impact. He had 25 carries for 136 yards and 4 touchdowns. Now, the thing with Anthony Richardson, he does not care to take a hit. It's almost like he looks for it, which, I mean, as a quarterback, you're like, yeah, like if you're like that, you're about that, right? But as a coach or a teammate, you're like, no,
Yeah.
you slide, and he doesn't like to slide. I mean, he just doesn't.
I mean, we
But
saw it in
then-
Florida, and now we're seeing it in Indianapolis. That's
Yeah.
the reason he's hurt. So,
But he's a very talented kid. From just his 4 games, I think he definitely has the potential to be one of the top guys coming up here in the next couple of years. And they get Michael Pittman back for 3 years. They got JT back for 3 years. And Josh Downs is a rookie who played very well, stepped into that role well. And Alec Pierce, he's hit or miss, but he could be sneaky good. Like, I'm using Tony's line,
Madden
but sneaky
legend.
good. Yeah, Madden legend Alec Pierce. Behind Josh Downs and Pittman, I don't see a reason why he should be below 600 yards this year with Anthony Richardson, assuming Anthony Richardson plays a full season.
right. We got to see him behind, Indy's line
Yeah.
for a full season.
Full
Yeah.
I
year,
feel
yeah.
like he could be dangerous.
Yeah, he just got to be careful. You know what I mean? That's all it
He's
is.
got to stay healthy.
And the Colts have a very good mixed defense when it comes to being young and when it comes to being experienced. They got Kwity Paye, DeForest Buckner. They just signed Raekwon Davis, and they got Samson Ebukam on their defensive line. Kwity Paye, he was drafted not last year, the year before. Tore his ACL, I think, his first year. So last year was really his first year back. DeForest Buckner, proven good defensive tackle. Raekwon Davis, he was okay for the Dolphins. I think as a second defensive tackle, he'll be good. And Samson Ebukam, we haven't heard much from him. He's old. Haven't heard much from him since 2019, right? And then at middle linebacker, they have Zaire Franklin. They have Kenny Moore at corner they just brought back, and they got Julian Blackman at safety. I think they'll be fine. I think it's a perfect mix, especially after the draft. We got to see where they go in the draft. But very good mix between old and young players. And with the team they have right now, they still have $22.5 million in cap space after the Pittman, JT, and Quentin Nelson deals, which Quentin Nelson signed 2 years ago. So I think they have a really good future, and it's bright for him. It all depends on Anthony Richardson if he can stay healthy.
Honestly,
Yeah,
go ahead, Tom.
you really need that mix, veteran and young players. I think that's really like the championship formula almost, because you need those guys who have been in the moment before, who can
Yeah.
help lead these younger guys, mentor these younger guys in those big games and those big situations. And yeah, I'm a big Anthony Richardson fan. I love Michael Pittman. JT's amazing. But yeah, I mean, they definitely have a very, bright future. So
Yeah. Honestly, what I was going to say, as much as that's a controversial pick, I don't think it's necessarily a bad
one.
take. I think that's on. You make some good points. I think the Colts have a phenomenal future up ahead. I agree.
Okay, good. Honestly, I thought I was going to get so much more hate.
Honestly, I was a little skeptical at first, but I can't lie. You started speaking some facts out. He had the facts to back it up. So I mean, I guess you can't hate, right?
No,
Let it
yeah,
work.
that's good take. W take.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Moving on to questionable,
our,
Tony.
Moving on to our questionable.
Tony
Shit,
just can't help.
Tony, fuck him up.
Dude, listen, because Hunter like went into his, and Kian went into his, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go into mine, right? I'm gonna go into mine, and then So moving on to our questionables, I'm actually going with the New York Jets, which is my team, and I think for the next 2 years, yes, they do have a good future, but after that is what scares me, because I mean, the quarterback situation after Aaron Rodgers leaves. I mean, right now it's Zach Wilson, which I mean I love Zach Wilson, right? I've stuck up for that man, but how long can I keep on fucking sticking up for that man?
Didn't you guys
Because-
just sign a quarterback too?
We got Tyrod Taylor, but that's
Yeah.
like as a backup.
Right.
That obviously not long term. And I mean, we can go, they can go and get a quarterback in this draft. Maybe a guy like Jordan Travis, Michael Pratt. One of those later round guys.
Is Spencer Rattler declared?
Yes.
Yes.
Even him.
Yeah, he's not bad.
I saw something earlier. Somebody, I think it was actually the Cowboys, were like interested in him or something like that, or having a visit with him. I'm
And
not
Spencer
100%
Rattler?
sure, so don't take my word.
And Spencer
But
Rattler?
yeah,
Oh boy.
Ian's on watch.
Oh
yeah.
boy. Why?
But I no idea. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but Jordan Travis or Michael Pratt would not be bad. Sit behind Rodgers, learn. Obviously that worked out for the Packers with Jordan Love, so I think the Jets should really take that from them and try to do something like that.
Yeah.
But I also think they need more offensive line depth. I mean, you have Elijah Vera Tucker and Joe Tippmann, but Tyrone Smith is on a 1-year deal, and he's older. Morgan Moses, I'm pretty sure, is older as well. And they've also have had injury issues in the past. Mike Williams, Aaron Rodgers, just, you know, defense just gets random injuries throughout the year. So that's always an issue with the Jets.
That MetLife
For some
turf,
reason.
man.
Yeah, that is the MetLife turf. And I also think it's really going to be hard to extend all these younger guys. You have Sauce, you have Garrett Wilson, you have Brees Hall. I mean, then your quarterback of the future, you're not going to be able to keep all those guys. It's just not possible. As sad as it is. So you're going to have to let someone walk, and
Yeah.
it's going to be a tough decision for them. So
Yeah,
I
the
think their
thing-
future definitely questionable.
The thing about those young guys too is they're not like the Tom Brady's who are willing to take a pay cut to see the team around them get better. They want to get their bag. They're on rookie contracts until year 4 or 5, depending on if they get that 5th-year option.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get their bag. They're trying to get paid. And a part of me understands that. I resonate with them in that sense. You pay or you play 4 or 5 years in the NFL, you have a lot of success, you want to get paid. You want to get on that max out contract, or as much as you can get. But one or two of those guys going to have to take a pay cut if they want to stay in New York and see that team get better, and I don't see it happening.
Yeah. The only one who I could see would honestly be Sauce.
Yeah.
I was
I
gonna
feel
say
like
the same thing. Out of
Yeah.
all those guys you got to retain, I think Sauce stays a Jet for a lot, if not all of his
Yeah.
career. I think you really got to worry about choosing between Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall, and I think
Yeah.
Brees Hall might be
Brees. Yeah.
the one to walk, unfortunately, and it sucks
Which-
because they're all good. You obviously
Yeah.
want to keep all of them.
But I would be fine with that because, I mean, running back is probably the easiest position to replace in the NFL. So I think, like,
I'd make the
Yeah.
argument.
Yeah.
I'd make the argument around wide receiver. I think wide receivers nowadays are a dime a dozen. I think you can find a pretty good wide receiver anywhere.
that is true. It also depends on your quarterback, too. But a guy like Garrett Wilson, I mean, Brees Hall is amazing, don't get me wrong, but you can always try to find another Brees Hall. And sure,
Here's
you
the
can always
thing,
find
you-
another Garrett Wilson, though, too.
Your offensive line is known to have Elijah Vera Tucker the last 2 years has
2 years,
season-ending
yep.
injuries.
Both
Makai
both in,
Becton his
Denver,
entire
too.
career,
Yeah.
and
Well, he's gone.
yeah, he's gone now. But like Keen said, I really truly do think it's a turf, and
100%.
if that situation gets fixed in the near future, I don't think you will have to worry about nearly as many injuries. But when it comes to your offensive line, I think the signings were good. Tyron Smith is phenomenal. He's been phenomenal his whole career, and I'm saying it as an Eagles fan. He's been phenomenal his whole career, but as of late, he's been injured too. You got to worry about
Yeah,
him.
exactly.
So I would,
Ouch.
it's hard to say, dude, because you want to give Aaron Rodgers as much weapons as possible to really open up the offense, but at the same time, his protection's getting old, and you
Yeah,
don't know what's gonna
exactly.
happen. So I don't know. It's tough.
Take that left
Tough.
tackle of the future.
Yeah, it's tough.
No, yeah.
I think they have enough weapons, honestly. Like, Brock Bowers would be really, really cool to see, but it's just take that left tackle of the future, build that brick wall. I mean, you can't have a team without an offensive line, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
Lines
Bad
on
guys win
offense. Yeah, lines on offense and defense. I think the core of your team built around an offensive or defensive line is what you want. But
You win game in the trenches.
Exactly. That's Hunter's people right there. Hunter's people. Anyways, we're gonna move on to my questionable pick. I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Shout out to my older brother. Big Steelers fan. They got some good and some bad, and this is why I'm very torn between this team, and this is why I had to put them in questionable. They got two pretty decent quarterbacks in years past. I know Russ has had his struggles, and Fields has had his struggles, and they've both had their roller coasters of years. But who's gonna play? They've obviously announced it's gonna be Week 1 starter Russell Wilson. Will Fields take that job in Week 2, Week 5, Week 10, based on Russell's play, or will Russ play the whole season? Will Russ get hurt? There's a lot of question marks there. Also, question marks surrounding the running back room. Najee with a lot of production, Jalen Warren with a lot of production. Who do you play there? I mean, Najee last year had over 1,000 yards, but kind of lacking in the touchdown department. Warren got the start, I think, later in the year, and he almost had 800 yards, 4 touchdowns, a lot less, but only 100 carries between the two. Najee with more. That's another big question. Who's going to start there? Are they going to split again? And what's the production going to be like? Another huge W, in my opinion, for the Steelers, getting Patrick Queen off of the Ravens, bringing him to a division rival. Patrick Queen's been a stud. He's going to make that defense a whole lot better. TJ Watt's been absolutely tearing up the league. He's been a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year for the past, 4 years?
Poor bro. Gets snubbed.
Yeah, every single year gets snubbed.
Poor bro.
But he's been phenomenal. You can't look at his production and say otherwise. And Cam Hayward, Pat P, also getting old, but the production's still there. They got guys like Minkah Fitzpatrick, who's just always all around been a great player. And then you can't talk about the Steelers and not talk about their head coach. Mike Tomlin has said 17 winning seasons in a row. That is just unbelievably unprecedented, and I think
finds
the Steelers,
a way to win.
Yeah,
no matter who's on the team.
no matter who's around him on his team, he finds a way to win. As Hunter said, Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the biggest question marks going into this season. I think they're going to be, personally, I think they're going to be a bit of a dark horse team. They're going to find a lot more success than people would think. But, in years past, they've had good teams around them and have had limited success. So it's always a question mark with them. And I think they just have too many ups and downs, goods and bads, pros and cons to be really stand out in the AFC. Questionable.
And a big
best.
problem with the Steelers too is Fields already played 3 years. His contract's up after the season. What are they gonna do? What's the plan? Does Justin Fields want to get paid for what he did over in Chicago? Is he gonna get a chance to prove that he deserves a contract that he most likely will want? Or is he gonna say, okay, you know what, give me a year and we'll figure this out?
Right, and that all stems back to the question, who's gonna play? They said Russ is going to be the Week 1 starter, but say he goes down Week 1 or Week 2 or Week 3, and Justin Fields has a great season, then what do you do? Or say Russ has a phenomenal year, then what do you do with Justin Fields? There's just way too many question marks for me to say right now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I really like Justin Fields. I think. And here's another question: is if Russ is having a terrible season, you feel like you have to start Fields by week 7 or 8. If you're not having a good year, you're 2-5. I feel like you got to start Justin Fields. Give him the chance. See what he can do. I mean, he's young. He's talented. He's shown his flashes. He can take off and run. I mean, Russ also, used to be that type of guy, but I think with his age now, it's way harder for him to get out of the pocket and escape how he used to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those old Seattle clips, are just insane.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the sacks this man got out of. But he's not that type of quarterback anymore. His age is getting to him. And I think if they suck, it's a no-brainer that you have to start Justin Fields.
Right.
And his morale's probably absolutely diminished by the way the Broncos did him, because they did him dirty. So who knows if he even still has the confidence. I think it's more of a confidence thing than it is age and ability. Because if you go through something like that as a player, I could only imagine how that feels.
Yeah.
They're getting treated like trash.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, they
Same thing with Justin
literally.
Fields, though. Honestly,
Yeah, you're
almost
right.
like
You're
two
right.
quarterbacks in the same situation got treated like shit from the team and owners. So
Justin Fields, I just feel so poorly for him. They rebuilt a great team around him and then shipped them off. Right when they had some positive, they shipped them off. Like, oh, well, you were the problem. Now we're gonna bring in Caleb and have all this success when they gave him no weapons in Chicago. It's just really a shame.
And I like Caleb. I really do. I think he's going to be phenomenal, but
yeah,
you better hope he doesn't flop. If he flops, a lot of people are getting fired. A lot more than just one, I
Yeah.
think.
Yep. I agree. I agree.
All right. Moving on to the Buffalo Bills. Now, I have to be very careful with this because I got a lot of family members that are Buffalo Bills fans and they probably watch. So,
fuck the
my
Bills.
bad beforehand. But I have them in my questionable future category. They just shipped off Stephon Diggs to the Texans, as we talked about earlier. Josh Allen's current weapons. Let's go over that for a second. So he's got Khalil Shakur, Curtis Samuel, and Mac Hollins. He has Kincaid. Kincaid is... I like Kincaid better than... I think he has more... No, this is a wild take. You ready? You ready? I think Kincaid has more potential than Sam Laporta has.
No!
Wild take. Wild take. I know.
Wow. Okay.
I know.
All
I know.
right. We're gonna
I
stop.
know.
We're gonna stop you right
Sam
there.
Laporta's a dog.
Hang on. We're gonna stop you right there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to double down on that take, just so I know that you're not capping.
I am going to confidently double down on that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's wild.
And I don't
a
hate Sam Laporta.
As a Dalton Kincaid fantasy owner, I would rather have Sam Laporta.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know because in fantasy I would say yeah, Sam Laporta. In dynasty, I think it's different.
They're the
think
same age. How is it
Kincaid-
different?
Because I think Kincaid can be 10 times better.
In what ways? Kincaid's
In the
production
fact-
didn't spike until like week 8.
And that's fine. Tight ends normally take a while to get going. Sam Laporta is just the
Unicorn of the bunch.
the unicorn of the bunch.
But
where you
that's what
start
makes him
production
so
early.
good, though.
Early bloomer.
Yeah, I know. I get that. I do. That's why it's kind of wild for saying it. I don't really got nothing in the back. I just like Kincaid and how he plays. He is easily shaking linebackers left and right. And I'm not saying Sam Laporta isn't, because he is, but I just like I like Kincaid as a player a lot, and I think he could end up being better than Sam Laporta. And I like him better than Sam Laporta.
We're gonna have
And
to come
I know
back to
it's kind
this.
of wild. I know it's
We're
kind of
gonna have
wild to
come back
say.
this.
But
I
he's
don't
got Sam
necessarily
Laporta,
disagree,
Sam Laporta.
right? I don't necessarily disagree. I love Dalton Kincaid. I think he's a phenomenal player. But Sam Laporta is also a phenomenal player in probably a
I
better
wouldn't put
offense.
Kincaid in phenomenal player yet. I'd put him in good player. But I'm saying he has the potential to be that Rob Gronkowski minus the blocking. He has that potential to be Travis Kelce. He has everything. He has all the gadgets and abilities to do so.
That's a
I
wild
feel-
take.
That is a wild.
It is a
Comparing
wild
him,
take.
comparing
lie,
him to
and
some goats is crazy.
I know. I
I'm
think
gonna be
I think
honest
he
with
could
you.
do that.
I 100% disagree with this.
That's totally fine. I would expect
can't
that.
lie
Classic
to
Jets
you.
fan. Classic Jets
Yep.
fan.
And it's not even that. Like, let's put all that to the side. I just think Sam Laporta right now is already 10 times the player that Kincaid is. The season that he just had as a rookie is unreal, really unheard of, especially
records.
for a tight end. So I don't know. I just can't get behind that one, even the slightest. I'm
No, I know,
sorry.
and I don't blame you for saying that, honestly.
Right. Like I said,
But-
I don't disagree, but I
but-
don't agree quite
To
yet.
each their own, to each
Yeah.
their own.
So he has Kincaid, he has
Right.
Shakir, Curtis Samuel, and Mac Hollins. Now
James Cook.
the Buffalo
Can't forget about
Bills,
James Cook too.
Yeah, James Cook too.
James Cook had a
Now-
great season.
I'm more focusing on the receiver aspect though, because those names I just jotted out at receiver are absolutely horrid, right?
Yeah, it was
Now,
terrible.
I will say Curtis Samuel's very underrated, but he is not no wide receiver one. Curtis Samuel reminds, with good quarterback play, that he is going to get from Josh Allen because Josh Allen is that guy. I think I would compare him to Chris Godwin and how he can have a game where he has no targets, no catches, or he can have 10 catches for 147 yards and 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean?
Good
Now,
take.
Khalil Shakir, he was a rookie last year, correct?
I'm not
Second year.
100% sure, but he
Yeah,
is
I'm not sure. We'll check that later. But
sneaky.
he had a
good
very good
guy,
year.
like
Yeah,
him.
he had a very good year as a second wideout. And Mac Hollins is he gets passed around more than
It was the
I'm
second
just
year.
gonna bleep that out.
Yeah,
but
second year last year. Clear Shakur.
The Bills are most likely going to take receiver in the draft. And as we put in our mock draft last week, we had him taking Brian Thomas. Now, I feel like someone like Brian Thomas can change everything. But it is questionable right now. This is going off right now. This is the current lineup. This is what we're dealing with. The Bills also lost pretty much their entire secondary. They lost Trey D, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde. They lost Mitch Morris as their center. And they lost Leonard Floyd. They lost a lot of their defense, dude. And I get Tre'Davious White. He's been hurt a ton. Get it?
He's been hurt every year.
But when he's in, he's a dog.
He's a game changer.
So, I mean, like, do I blame the Bills for not keeping him? No, because injuries do suck, and he had a lot of horrendous injuries. Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde, I think you could have at least kept one. You could have kept one. You did not have to get rid of both of them. They lost Leonard Floyd. He had 10.5 sacks last year. And Von Miller's aging, so what are they going to do at defensive line? They got Ed Oliver, and I don't even know who their other defensive tackle is. Nor do I know who's taken Leonard Floyd's place. So defensive line's questionable. You lost Mitch Morris, which I'm assuming you'll draft a backup in the second or third round of this year's draft or something. I don't know. But the upside, Josh Allen's a dog. He's going to always be good. He's a very risky player, but I like that a lot.
He's going to make it work with whatever he's got.
He's going to make it work, exactly. But he could be in a better situation. That's the thing. Now, they added La'el Collins. They added Will Clapp. Pause. They added Curtis Samuel, Nicholas Morrow, and Mitch Trubisky. Now, very questionable signings in Nicholas Morrow and Mitch Trubisky. As an Eagles fan, Nicholas Morrow is horrible in coverage, and half the time you can't tackle. So I don't know what the plan is with him. I don't know if he's going to be
about
a
right for
full-time.
the Bills secondary, though.
I don't know if that's going to be a full-time starter type deal or if it's going to be sub him in when somebody's tired or whatever. Mitch Trubisky, I mean, good backup, but you do not need to sign him for that much money. No.
Yeah.
They did sign back. They re-signed Taron Johnson, their other corner. Very good signing. They signed back AJ Epinesa, which, I mean, statistically hit his best season last year. He had 6.5 sacks, but he never played full time. So, I mean, it's risk reward type thing. We'll see.
Right.
They signed back Deion Dawkins.
Hate that dude.
Good signing, though.
Hate that dude.
Deion
good signing.
Dawkins is Tony's op.
Literally, bro. He's Jets live rent free in that dude's head.
Keep it a buck. I hate them. All of them, bro. I feel like they play the sport to try to be cool. Like, those are a bunch of dudes that just want to take pictures on Instagram.
And they also re-signed Taylor Rapp. So, I mean, Taylor Rapp's going to take either Jordan Poyer or Micah Hyde's spot. I think Micah Hyde's spot. And you got Taron Johnson as your number one corner. We'll see how that goes. Paired up with Kyrie Elam that they drafted last year.
He didn't have a bad year, though, Johnson.
I know. The Bills have some upside. They do, but you can't say that. You can't confident, even as a Bills fan, you can't look at that and say, damn, they got a good future ahead.
Yeah.
It's
like,
questionable. And that's
if I was
why
a Bills fan,
agree.
I would be nervous.
I agree. Honestly, with all your takes, I agree, except for the Kincaid take. That was kind of wild. But
I mean, I don't care.
I don't disagree. I honestly don't disagree with this placing. I think the Bills are very, very questionable at best. And I think when you have someone like Josh Allen who can make it work no matter what he's got around him, it's always going to be looking ahead, looking upwards, trending upwards. But when the pieces around him really fell apart like they did this offseason, and they didn't really get much in return. I mean, what did they get for Diggs? A second? Like that's insane.
And they gave up a 6th and a 7th for that.
Right.
So I mean,
So like the pieces are falling all over the place. The wheels are falling off the bus, but you still got the conductor, you still got the driver and Josh Allen, and he's going to make it work either way. Really, really questionable future, and I have to agree with that.
yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would be. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't look at it with confidence, saying, "Oh my God, the Bills are going to be good for the upcoming years." But I also wouldn't say, "Oh my God, it's time for a rebuild." It's like that. It's like that gray area in between that.
Yep.
That's where the Bills. That's exactly where the Bills are.
It's like
where
that
are you
middle
gonna take the
child.
step to?
Yeah, it's like that middle child. You never really know.
Yeah. But it's like, where are you going to take the step to? Are you going to take the step forward, or are you going to take the step backwards? Which, hopefully backwards, you know.
All right.
My input right
Classic Bills hater, Jets fan. Here we go. Inputting his toxic energy.
Do the Bills. I was going to do the Bills for questionable, but then I was like, you know what? You might get some hate for that. I didn't want to hear it from you guys. Oh, you're just the Jets fans. You want to put them in questionable, this and that. So yeah, I'm glad you did them, honestly, because I thought they had a really questionable future as well.
I agree.
Especially
Honestly,
losing Diggs and Gabe Davis too. They also did lose Gabe Davis. So,
Gabe Davis, dark horse wide receiver too. He's got a lot of upside. I think that was a big loss.
I do really like Khalil Shakir.
I do too. I do too.
Like, I feel like Gabe Davis is such hit or miss though.
He is.
He's someone who's gonna break way downfield for one wide open touchdown and then do nothing the rest of the game. That's just how he is. That's how he plays.
Well, he's also a wide receiver 3. Well, he was.
He was 2 last year.
He was 2.
What happened to Gabe Davis?
That's what we're saying. Gabe Davis.
Oh, I thought I was talking about Shakir.
Oh.
Because
Tony
said
Yeah.
Tony said he liked him, and I was like, oh yeah, he's good.
Yeah, no, he was wide receiver 3. Gabe Davis was 2.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He was also wide receiver 3, so like his production.
I think Bills fans
going
themselves
to be
will tell you that Gabe Davis was hit or miss, and they didn't know how they felt.
Right, and Gabe Davis was hit or miss. And that's just the reality of it, honestly.
Yeah.
So I agree.
Moving on to our worst though.
This is gonna get hot and spicy here.
Yeah, it's gonna get spicy right here. I can feel it. I have something I gotta say already, but Tony, go ahead.
All right, I have the Tennessee Titans, and here's my reasonings. Will Levis is not that guy. I don't know how many Will Levis believers there are out there, but I am not one of them. And when you put him behind a terrible offensive line, the worst in the league, that's just already not helping his case. And, you know, I get it. He has shown his flashes, but like I said, I just don't think he's that guy. And his weapons, I mean, he has Tony Pollard. I think he's mid. He has DeAndre Hopkins.
All right. Relax with that. Relax.
What? Tony Pollard?
Tony Pollard is not mid, bro.
Were you shitting at Tony Pollard like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, because he got traded to a mid team, bro. Tony Pollard was not bad.
I thought, okay.
Tony Pollard's pretty bad.
He was
pretty bad. All right, Eagles fan.
There's the
Eagles fan.
Offensive lines in the league, the top 5, and he still just barely hit 1,000 yards.
Yeah, because Dak threw 50 times a game.
Yeah, but he's also supposed to be receiving back.
Yeah.
And he was just not playing his role.
Right. I
know that
agree.
because I bet him over 4 receiving touchdowns this year, and he's got none.
That's your problem. You're a terrible bettor.
That is also true. That is also true. That's also true.
Never listen to Hunter gambling advice, okay? But his weapons, Tony Pollard, mid. DeAndre Hopkins, aging. Calvin Ridley, overrated and overpaid by a long shot, and is also aging as well. 29. I mean,
and mid.
I don't know. I just feel like they're trying to make the right moves, but they're making all the wrong moves. And here's the worst move of them all: firing Mike Vrabel. Here we go. Can't pronounce names again today. But yes, that was a terrible move. I don't think anything was really his fault. I mean, like, he's a great coach, and
he had a bad team around him.
Yeah, he had like I said, worst offensive line, aging wide receiver, Yes, they did have Derrick Henry, but I mean, Derrick Henry can't carry a team on his own. And DeAndre Hopkins can't do much as he's getting older with Will Levis at quarterback.
I mean, Derrick
I don't know,
Henry
I just-
single-handedly carried them to 6 wins. That's all he can do.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I think the Titans are just, like I said, they're trying to make the right moves and they're just making all the wrong moves instead.
I agree.
Well, here's the thing. I agree. I would put the Titans in not a good scenario when it comes to the future, right? But you can't be shitting on Will Levis that hard this early, dog. You just can't be doing
I'm
I
it.
not
agree.
trying to shit on him that hard, but I
We're-
just I
we're
don't
about to
think
see,
he
because listen,
did.
Ridley, I do agree. Ridley is overrated and overpaid. DeAndre
Yeah.
Hopkins is getting older. I think Will Levis balls this year. Just because he has those guys and he has got Treylon Burks as a 3. I think there's a
Yeah.
very good chance that he balls this year.
Yeah, I don't think
So I would
Tony
not shut on this
Pollard.
yet.
I mean, we'll see how. I'm coming back to that because I'm not gonna let that one go. I don't think Tony Pollard is bad. I think he had a down season. He still eclipsed 1,000 yards, which I know I said was a con in our buy sells.
I know, and I'm
you
gonna.
whatever.
Believe me, I was already planning. I was gonna go into the last episode.
Right.
clip
I
up
know.
before everything's trash.
I said it was a con, but it was because of our line. Right. He just had a down season. He's not mid. He just had a down season, and I put him there because he's in a worse scheme now.
Yeah, but
That is
now
my
he
reasoning.
Yeah, but
now
he
he's
wasn't that
on the
good in an
worst
amazing scheme.
offensive line.
Right. He
now
had,
on the
like I
team with the
said,
worst
he had
offensive
a
line.
down year. If you look at his year, like 2 years ago when he was splitting carries with Zeke, he had a
A
phenomenal
down year when you just get this full starting role with a top 5 offensive line is possibly the worst time. to
Like I
have.
said, the Cowboys
down
are
year.
going to cowboy. The Cowboys are going to cowboy.
Yeah, I mean that is true, but here's the thing: is okay, I see your point, but he's going to a way worse situation. now
Right,
with
and
the
that's
worst
what I
offensive
agree.
line.
I agree, but that doesn't make him
And-
himself mid. If you see what I'm saying.
Mid. Maybe
You're,
less than
you're
mid.
you're an Eagles fan. You said
And guess what? Now he's not on the
week one-
Cowboys. Now he's on the Titans.
You said the first week that we did this podcast that you were a Dallas hater.
I
In
am.
the first 30 seconds
Oh,
of the
I am.
podcast.
I am proudly a Dallas hater.
Well, I am
Proudly.
proudly an Eagles hater. So fuck
Okay,
you,
I didn't
buddy.
ask you personally. I didn't ask you.
Personally,
I
I
didn't
don't
hear
care
Tony
if
ask
you
you.
asked. You're sharing your opinion. I'm gonna share mine. So fuck you, buddy.
Bro's
First
in
of all-
demon mode right now.
Yo,
See,
He'd
this
love
is
to
where
hear
I
himself say
usually
that.
get my where I usually get my popcorn out and I just kind of sit back and enjoy the fighting. Honestly,
Oh,
I'm
we
li-
gotta
I'm like
we
the
gotta
meme-
put
I'm
in
like the rep of
screenshots,
it.
bro. We gotta put in screenshots of our group chat. It gets heated. Me and
Yeah.
Hunter, like 2 days ago, we had
You go at it.
a battle between Baker Mayfield and fucking who was it?
CJ Stroud.
CJ
Baker
Stroud,
Mayfield and
yeah.
CJ Stroud. I was
and
like-
I literally just sent the popcorn emoji. That's all I said.
We
that
also
whole
we
time.
also
I
had
just
an
sent the
argument
popcorn
about if
emoji.
J. Cole is a good artist the other day. Like me and Hunter,
Yeah, which
me and
honestly
Hunter get
was
into debates.
Terrible take from Hunter.
Yeah,
All
a
right,
All right,
horrible
this is an
take.
NFL podcast, not a music podcast, so we can revert back to
He's
Kian
just-
on his worst team.
He's just trying not to get flamed in the comments, guys.
Yeah.
Where are all my J. Cole fans at? Flame this guy in the comments. His music taste is horrible. Anyways, moving on to my worst. We're going to go with the Carolina Panthers. And now, again, this is going to be an obvious one. Carolina coming off a 2-15 season, not looking so bright for them. Same thing kind of with the Titans that Tony said they're trying to make the right moves, but they're not. They traded away Brian Burns for a bag of chips. I mean, that was just an absolutely horrible deal. They had what was the offer last year, Hunter? They had it was like a
2
first,
first-round picks, a second-round pick, and a late-round pick.
exactly, and they that was from the Rams.
Declined it. That's from the
Okay.
Rams, and they declined
Right.
it.
So they were trying to wheel and deal him last year. They had a better offer, and then they take a worse offer this year.
10
Don't
times
really-
worse of an offer.
Yeah, I don't really know where they were going with there. Maybe if the production was there this year, I could justify it, but the production wasn't there. So I don't know what they were trying to do there. Bryce Young is a question mark. Was he the problem or was he the solution in the future? Personally, I think it's way too early to say if Bryce Young is going to pan out or not pan out. I think he has all the wrong pieces around him. He's got an aging wide receiver core. Adam Thielen is your wide receiver 1. You have a problem. They don't have a lot of cap space. They don't have the right pieces. They have holes across the team. JC Horn, a phenomenal corner, but again, they have holes in depth in corner. They have holes now in linebacker because of Brian Burns' absence. They have holes in the lines on both sides of the ball. I just think it's not looking good. Let's not forget last year's trade to get Bryce Young cost them Caleb Williams. So now what? Moving forward, they don't have a first round pick this year. And they're still 2-15. They didn't right the ship in pretty much any way. They got rid of a lot of pieces. They're still struggling in cap space. They still don't have a first round pick. They still don't have a lot of things that they need. And I think it's just going to be another disappointing season from Carolina, unfortunately. As much as I want to see them return to their 2015, 2016 glory days with Cam Newton, Luke Kuechly, I just don't think it's going to happen in the next couple of years. And that's why I have them at the category that they're at.
Yeah, and I see it. I mean, $8 million in cap space will having all those gaps. And Brian Burns isn't the only defensive end they lost. They also lost Yetur Gross-Matos to the Niners.
Yes, I did see that.
So they give up their backup too. So what are you gonna do at defensive end? You have Derek Brown, one of the best interior in the league, right? After him, who? Very easy candidate to double team the whole game, and then what are you gonna? You're not gonna get any pressure.
Yeah, and let's not forget they have Deontay this year now with that deal with the Steelers.
Mhm.
So their wide receiver room did get a little bit better, but again, Adam Thielen's now on number 2, and he's what 33, 34.
Yeah, around there.
So he's not going to stay in the league for any more than another couple of years. What do you do when he retires? Hopefully they'll have some draft picks by then, but with the way that they've dealt their draft picks in the last couple of years, they're probably going to have 2/3.
They're just kind of stuck, dude. Like they're stuck in the worst possible situation that you could be in, and it's gonna take time. This is not gonna be no fast rebuild. This is gonna take time to get back at it.
Yeah, and they gotta draft well. They have to trade well and not give up picks for nothing. They have to get value for their good players who they no longer see a future with. Like Brian Burns, they didn't see a future with him, which debatable in my opinion. They probably could have kept him around, paid him. But again,
and by the time they get at least a decent team, Bryce Young's going to be ready for his contract.
Yeah,
exactly.
And he's not going to want to stay there more than like
he's not going to want to stay there, or he's going to want a bag.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're not going to have the money.
He could be a total fail. You don't know, you know. And honestly, I don't think it was worth it. The situation that they were in, I mean, they had a terrible offensive line, so to trade away all of that to get your quarterback of the future, but then you also trade away his best weapon. I mean, that trade just really made no sense to me.
No. DJ Moore should have never left Carolina if they wanted something to do with the future.
They really put themselves in this situation, and now they're really starting to feel it.
I mean, their game day tickets are like $50.
I wouldn't even spend that much to go watch
the
fucking Panthers play, to be honest
go
with
watch
you.
the two. Like, I would personally, if the Cowboys played Carolina, I think they did play Carolina this year in Carolina. But if they played, I would go and watch the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean,
or the Jets for Tony, or the Eagles for Hunter. But I'm a Panthers fan. I'd rather just watch it.
To come to the game.
I would just watch it on TV and turn it off at halftime when they're down by 30. Like, why waste my day to mow the lawn, drink a beer? Halftime.
Tailgate. For real.
Tailgate. I'd go to the Panthers tailgate and not even go to the game.
Exactly.
Like, come on. But the Panthers, like Hunter said, they dug themselves a hole, and they need to find a way out of it, which I don't think is going to happen very quick, unfortunately for them. Hopefully they make some good decisions moving forward. But again, they have had a history of not making the best decisions as far as trades, as far as contracts, as far as draft picks, retaining draft picks. They really don't have much to work with.
Yeah, not much at all. Now, Panthers fans, we'll give you a little bit of a break. I know it's a lot. The truth hurts. It's a lot to hear. We'll let you cope in peace now. Now I'm really gonna enjoy this. We're shifting the hate over from
Me too.
Panthers.
Me too. I already know
I'm gonna
this pick.
enjoy this. I'm gonna shit on this
Me
team.
too. This is
New
where
York
me and Hunter
Giants
team
fans?
up.
New York Giants fans, we hate you and we love to see you down. So
This is where me and Hunter are gonna team up for the first time in history.
I also
Now-
hate the Giants as well. So
I got the New York Giants happily in one of the worst futures I could see in the NFL. Now,
Hunter,
Let me
Hunter,
just
wait,
start
wait, 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 wait. Before you start, put your knuckle up to the face cam. Let me just get. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I feel left out.
Well, we're division rivals. You're just a state rival,
Yeah.
so like it means
Yeah,
more
we're
to
the
us.
state rivals. The little
now I'm gonna start off by saying
Not
I'm gonna
that
rip
joke
into you.
again.
No, I'm not even gonna hold anything back. I'm gonna rip into you guys. You guys are letting Daniel Jones just sit there and eat all your cap space with a maxed out contract because you guys are dumbasses and paid him instead of Saquon. As soon as Saquon walked out your door, 80% of your offense went with him.
Yep.
It's gone. You have nothing, buddy. Listen, you got an aging Darren Waller who hasn't been shit since 2019. You have who? Jalen Hyatt. Oh yeah, the rookie that was supposed to be really good. What'd he do? What'd he do?
Nothing.
Anything? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so you got him. I don't even know who else you got. Who else you got?
Hey, wait.
Wandale
They got
Robinson.
Wandale Robinson. Yeah,
Wandale
exactly.
Robinson.
That's it.
Yo, I heard he's a dog. He's not a dog.
bad. He's not
He's not a
bad.
dog. Not a
Not
dog.
bad though.
Sterling Shepard. Come on. He's amazing.
Oh yeah. Yep,
He's
you're right.
amazing.
He goes down ACL tear every 2 games. It's fine. So you got that.
Where's the
Yo,
offensive
only
line?
energy,
You know what?
the
Let me
hate
get-
energy right now.
Now listen.
Oh,
Listen.
yeah,
Your
total
only
hater
bright
shit.
spot on your team is your defensive line. Besides your defensive line, I cannot give you any credibility for anything you guys have ever done in like the last 2-3 years. Okay. Besides, oh, no, actually,
What about the Super
playoff
Bowl
run. The playoff
12
run.
years ago?
Now listen, your only bright spot is your defensive line. You got a decent corner in Deontay Banks. I'll give you that. Right. Yeah, Isaiah
Garrett
Simmons,
Wilson had
who has
something
been
to say
mid.
about that. Garrett Wilson had a lot to say about that. Yeah,
Did he?
thanks. Yeah, about 100 yards and a touchdown. That's what he had to say about
Oh shit!
that.
Bro's trash.
Now, not to mention that you guys spend every single first round pick in like the last 5 years on offensive line, and you only hit one, right?
Drafting
hit,
busts.
You hit Andrew Thomas, and in his rookie year, we thought you missed that too. You guys got lucky. You guys missed on Evan Neal, Shane Lemieux, if that's how you say his name, Matt Peart, and a couple other offensive linemen that you spend in later rounds. You guys cannot
Did you
draft an
just
offensive
say-
line for shit.
Did you just say Lemieux?
Lemieux, meow.
Lemieux.
Meow.
Have you never heard of Pittsburgh Penguins legend Mario Lemieux?
No,
I know
but you
who
said
that
that
is.
majestically, honestly. I kind of
That was literally top 2 greatest hockey players of all time. Wayne Gretzky
Anyway.
1,
All
Mario
right,
Lemieux.
here we go.
Anyway.
Here we go.
Daniel
Anyway,
Jones is no wide receiver help, so he
moving
can't maximize the money that he's getting paid in value on the field.
And
You're not gonna
Daniel
get
Jones literally gets hurt every other game.
Yep. Now, I heard a report. Kean debunked it. He just looked it up. I heard a report the Giants owner wants Daniel Jones out. So if you're, and they do have an out after this year.
But I read an article that a Giants insider said the GM owner, Coach Brian Dable, they're not ready to move on from Daniel Jones just yet.
And honestly,
Well,
good. I want him there.
Yep.
I love Daniel
Let's-
Jones in New York
let's-
Giant.
Yep. Let's see him struggle even more.
And whoever the GM is, thank you for putting them in poverty.
3-2 wins every year for my Dallas Cowboys.
You guys will have 50 sacks to have 50 points put up against you the entire every fucking game because your defense never comes off the field.
Oh, Hunter,
Your defense is gonna
I
come
love
off a
it.
drive with like, oh my god, we just got 3 sacks this drive. Let's fucking go, coach. Actually, got to go back out. Hate to break it to you, man.
You guys are having
Daniel
like,
Jones just
way
threw a
too
pick
much
on in
fun with
the
this
second
now.
and 10.
Oh shit.
After
Yeah,
Devin
no.
Singletary got stuffed at the line.
So that's my worst. I loved my time shitting on the Giants. It was fun.
Yeah.
All right.
I let out of a lot.
While
of
we're at it, while we're at it on shitting on the Giants, can I just have a take here? Hunter had a wild take earlier. I'm gonna have a wild take.
Oh boy, here we go.
Eli Manning was mid.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Other than the fact that he won 2 lucky Super Bowls. What did he do other than that? Tell me what he did other than that. Genuinely, what did he do other than get those?
This is where Hunter puts up Eli Manning's career stats and awards.
No, because I actually saw a post the other day, and at first I'm like, dude, come on. Then they started showing the stats, and I was like, Eli Manning is fucking mid as fuck. Like, what?
You are about to get so much hate from a couple people that we know, Tone.
Yeah. So sorry to them, but I'm
shit.
sorry. Eli Manning, yes, 2 great playoff runs, but weren't they both wild card seasons? A 9-7 year? I mean,
Yeah. And Daniel Jones thought he was him. He thought he was making it to the Super Bowl when they beat the Vikings, but it just didn't turn out that way.
Yeah,
They beat the mid Vikings.
Yeah.
So
it was a lot of fun. Love shit on the Giants.
Me too, man. I honestly took the words right out of my mouth. I would have said the same things. 3-2 wins for the Eagles and the Cowboys. Eagles and Cowboys fans unite when it comes to shitting on the Giants. So I like it. Tony, are you pulling up stats right now, or what are you?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I mean, all right, maybe I was a little bit rough.
Tony just debunked himself.
I debunked myself. I'm sorry. We can cut that out.
Nope.
No, I ain't cutting it out.
We're leaving it in. We're leaving it in.
I'm joking. I'll take my L, but still, that man did nothing for your team other than those 2 great playoff runs. Which
It's all right, so I think I'm gonna have to take my L
L.
anyway. I'm gonna take one.
You're
with
gonna
you,
have to
I think.
take your Kincaid L. That might even be worse.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, no.
The only person not to take an L here is Kian. Let's go. W.
Yeah. Wait until next week, buddy. We'll catch you lacking.
That Tony Pollard take was.
All right.
Yeah, that was an L2.
Bullshit.
That was an L2.
No.
We'll see.
Bullshit.
We'll see.
All right. Anyways, we hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. This was a wild one. Really roller coaster of emotions here, especially at the end with the whole Giants segment just absolutely shitting on the Giants. Hunter, another knuckle for you. That was beautiful.
It was a pleasure, dog.
It was a pleasure. I love it. I didn't even have to say anything. I fucking love it. Anyways, we hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, leave your comments, feedback in the comment section below, and we'll see you next week. Later, boys.
Yeah.